Shoot. What's up, everybody? Shawn here with another live live to roll. I gotta adjust that screen. I forgot to do that before. But welcome everybody to another live live to roll. I'm Shawn. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident. Today we're gonna be showing. I got a little food thing. We're just gonna kind of talk about some cooking stuff. We weren't all able to make videos, but it's gonna be a great show. If you guys have any questions, anything else you want to talk about, drop them in the chat. And yeah, you
And
guys want
just
to.
Sean,
Oh,
the only reason we will forgive that minor slip up at the beginning is because today is your birthday and you're allowed to make small or even larger mistakes on your birthday. And you just forgive them, without even thinking about it. So we just want to say, I want to say, Leah's already in the chat saying it, our other peeps are saying it. We love you, Sean Fluke, and happy birthday, my friend. You are such an intelligent, caring, hardworking, kind, and beautiful human being, dude. You make everybody's life better if you're a part of it, and just have a lot of love for you, man. A lot of respect, and I really appreciate you bringing us together and making the Live to Roll family, man, because it's definitely one of the most precious and special parts of my life, dude. So just love you, man, and thank you, and happy birthday, dude.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Oh, that was very kind, man.
I just think you're okay, and so just another day older.
That's okay too, Bobby.
Dude, happy
I,
birthday.
I love you guys, man. You guys, I appreciate you. Thank you, and everybody in the chat. Thank you for coming, hanging out. We appreciate you. Do you guys want to do some little intros as well? Um,
You take it first.
Bobby, go ahead.
I get to go first. I guess it's age before beauty. So I'm Bobby Rohan, C5, C6, quad of 34 years. Living in Southern California, and it is hot today. I just got
Uh,
literally in through the door, and I'm baking. And
I'm
take it away, Tom.
Tom Conway. I'm Tom Conway, C6B quadriplegic. For the last 26 years, it's feeling pretty nice where I'm at in SoCal. So you just got to come to the north part where we got that cool breeze, those Santa Ana winds flowing, and it's all good. We're talking about cooking a little bit today. If you guys do have any questions, we're talking about the holidays, we're talking about anything really that you want to throw our way. If you want us to freestyle a little bit, otherwise we'll probably do a little freestyling on our own with some topics and some questions and some things that we're doing. But let's just dive on in. We did a little Friendsgiving this last Saturday, which anybody
Wait,
that
Sean. Sean, did you introduce yourself, or am I?
Kind of. I just kind of like did it rolled
Okay,
into one little
sorry.
intro there this
I
morning.
introduced him.
I am
Yeah.
out of
Okay.
sorts. Okay, I do have to freestyle, Tom, because I am out of sorts, and you know why I'm out of sorts. I was on the
Yeah.
phone with Tom, and he's like, "Hey, bud, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh, driving. I just got a flat as I was running a couple errands, and so I pulled up into the bike shop. They come out, and I'm like, "Yeah, I got a flat. Can you help me change the tire?" And I've been to this bike shop, 30 times maybe for a flat. And I'm like, "I got an extra tube." And he goes, "Okay." He wheels my chair in, and then he comes out with a slip, and he goes, "All right, can you feel this out?" And I'm like, "For what?" And he goes, "You're gonna have to leave it here." I'm like, "I can't leave my wheelchair here." Like, he's like, "Well, and I'm like, he goes, "Well, I don't know what to tell you." I'm like, "Well, bring back my chair." And, it's just like somebody that says, "You're going to have to leave your wheelchair here." It's like, well, that means I'm going to stay here because then when he brought back my chair, I'm like, "Yeah, well, can't leave it." He goes, "Sorry about that." I'm like, "Yeah, I can't leave it. I can't walk." And he goes, "Oh, okay. See you again." And I'm like, "No, you won't." you know?
Well, you probably look pretty normal sitting in your front seat, and I know you do because I've seen you in the front seat of your car, and you do like if you don't notice the hands, it does like look like you're just not disabled really.
Well,
So maybe he was thinking you were there dropping it for somebody, or you were even like ambulatory enough to manage without it. But it's like a fair assumption.
yeah, maybe. But I did call him and said, "Hey, can somebody come out because I'm in a wheelchair?" tell me grab my tire that I need changing because I have a flat. So he heard that part. Plus, I have my wheelchair rugby chair in my car right now and my scooter. And so it's like, not that, and you're right, Tom. I look more normal, and he probably doesn't know what a rugby chair is or what that scooter attachment is for. But I was just like, no, I can't leave it here. This is crazy. But I'm just like out of sorts after that going. So then I'm like trying to rush home and push inside with a flat, and I don't know. This usually I can push around easily with a flat, but today I don't know what's going on. But, all right, that's enough of my rant. We can talk about Thanksgiving.
No, yeah, that sucks though. That's no, uh, that is no, especially if it's a shop that you've been to a bunch of times.
Yeah,
So,
I've never seen this guy though, so who knows?
right. So yeah, guys, we got Thanksgiving coming up, a couple days here. We just had our Friendsgiving, so thank you everybody that did support, anybody that came out. If you didn't, we appreciate you just hanging out and supporting here too. But it was a good. We had some good food, good time, and then we got Thanksgiving coming up now. So I actually did for the party, and then I might make some more for Christmas. I don't think I'm making them for Thanksgiving, but I made these little peanut butter balls, which is a recipe that my girlfriend knows how to make from her mom. I guess they've been making them for her mom's been making them for like since she was born. So they're an old like I don't know if they're Midwestern or are they but it's just basically peanut butter, graham cracker, and chocolate, um, and they're delicious. So I made some of those, and that was cool. And I'm just starting to get into like making things on my own, or not on my own, but helping in the kitchen. And it's fun. It's kind of cool. It's kind of nice learning some of those skills. Tom
It's
has
kind
a
of it's kind of
cooking
what made
skill.
me like start even like take on the ambition of cooking on my own because like I grew up doing it, whereas like a lot of times I was just in the kitchen with my family. Like my dad would be like, "Oh, you want to be the sous?" And like the sous chef, like help prep, and I would like sit there and I'd be like peeling potatoes, and he like put three on my tray, and I'd be getting through one. It'd take me like 20 minutes to do one potato, and he'd do a whole bag of potatoes. But my one potato would get chopped up and tossed in the pot with the rest before they were boiled or mashed or whatever we were doing, and it felt good. And like when I was eating it, it was like, dang, like I made a little bit of this. I at least made my portion, which is kind of cool. I do that for a lot of stuff, and it was fun to like hold a knife and chop something. And I think it helped even in like a rehabilitation sense. Like those are the first times that I, tried using utensils and kitchen tools and stuff like that. And started to kind of put together and plant those seeds in my head of like what would work and how I might work this and how I might workshop it and do it easier and better next time. And having somebody there too to do it with you is always the best because one, like company is great. It's fun to cook with somebody, and it can really be easy and helpful when you are working on building those skills. Um, and I mean, I can't tell you how many times I drop something or like I'm just here by myself cooking. And or like really struggling with like one little simple task, which is like maybe opening a lid or something, or like messing up my timing and my flow of like my food prep and everything cooking. But um, it helps like doing it so much growing up with people around, my sister, my dad, my mom, and my bro, doing it with me um, has helped me build the skills enough to have the confidence to be here on my own and to tackle problems and not get stuck or frustrated, even if I do drop something or if I find one part that I'm a little struggling with, because I have the ability to problem solve and brainstorm and figure it out, one way or another. And a lot of that came through, cooking with peeps, cooking with my family, especially during the holidays, because we'd be doing a lot of that stuff. And not just, like traditional cooking too, but a lot of baking, which is like really fun to just sit there with a wooden spoon and not have to like do anything perfectly other than like mash ingredients together and try to stir it. But after like getting a bowl of cookie dough mix, like you'd feel it in your shoulders and your back too. At least you're like working and losing the calories for the cookies that you're going to eat too. And it's a small thing, but it's it's a thing too. If you do enough, you do gain strength too through doing it, I think, as well.
I was gonna say that it's like it may seem simple and easy, but for a quad, especially trying to mix stuff and do things and just holding like those like kind of fine motor when you're trying to do things like it's hard. It's exhausting. It like really is a good
Well,
workout.
yeah, and I've always wanted to be that. Like, if there's a what's that? Active Hands. What company is that? Is it?
Yeah, active with the quad grips, right? The like so you can
Yeah,
grip.
is that just Active Hands, and then they
They
sell?
have active hands, and then our friend Talbot, that's been on the show once for the fishing stuff, has called Handy Accessories, and they're U.S. made, and they're the same thing. They're like the quad cuff though, but
No,
it,
but yeah, which is fine. But they also have a lot of stuff for for the slicing and stuff like that.
oh, they do
All
have.
these devices to hold your food, and you can slice the cheese, and the knife. That's a board where it's like you can trap everything, and then these peelers or can openers that are easy. And it's like I keep going. Ah, I want all this stuff, but man, it like adds up, and I know what would happen. Like out of sight, out of mind when it's in my kitchen cupboard, or it's faster to have my wife just do it than me to get it out. And all right, here we go. I'm sure if I was all by myself for a couple of days, I'd be like, all right, let's leave all this stuff out because I'm gonna need it. And
Yeah.
like like to cook a hamburger is easy, and to put mustard and mayo on it, it's great. But then to slice up some cheese and then the tomatoes and then peel this off, it's easier when you have that type of equipment.
So do either of you guys have any like actual adaptive tools for cooking, or have you kind of just made, modified, adapted your own techniques and tools?
I just grew out of a lot of my assistive like devices. I started out early on in my rehab and stuff. It was like everything had a grip on it, or like a cuff or something that like or like a larger handle that would like allow me to grip it. But that was until I just learned how to better use and utilize the quad pause. And yeah, so I don't really, but I really do incentivize and recommend using things like that. I mean, just for example, like I started out using like utensils with larger grips so that I could just like slide them in my hand, but now I like slide the handle of the fork, like kind of weave it through my fingers, and like use like the leverage and the pressure of like my quad grip to kind of hold it in place. And I found that not only does it also hold it in place, like if I'm just holding a larger handle, but I'm more dexterous with it in that position and holding it that way. And so I'm able to like use my supination and pronation to like scoop and lift things up and just like move them in a more nuanced way. Same thing with like writing. Like the first thing I started out was like writing utensils, bigger grips, or even handles that would like slide onto my hand or Velcro
Yeah.
onto my hand. And I started out just trying to do it one-handed, like I was expected to. And I still, if I pushed hard enough to really like make markings on the paper, it would push the writing utensil up out of position, and I have to readjust it every couple of minutes or whatever it was, and it never just worked right or felt right. But I started holding it in my hand, like putting some pressure while I was writing, and I was able to like have more control, better dexterity, more pressure, like make it more legible on the page. And I realized by doing that and holding it, even with the cuff in the position, I could just do that without the cuff. And I write almost the exact same way, just pen position in my hand, and I just lock it together, and I'm like write together, and I'm just like super dexterous and can like write very like a lot of pressure super legibly. But the inspiration started with like an assistive device that kind of made it realistic and possible. And then I was able to work and build off of that to kind of graduate out of using the devices. Now, if it's something that works for you with the assistive device in place, and there's no need to lose it, or it just even still makes it a more accessible, functional experience, then there's no shame or shade in not continuing to use it either. One thing that I do want to get and wish I had was like a rocker knife, which is like a common kitchen tool, which is like a blade that's half moon shaped with like a handle that you kind of push down and roll and rock back and forth. That's one of the first knives they gave me in like OT, occupational therapy rehab at the start to try out and play with. Um, I don't know, I can be a little wild and madman with knives sometimes.
That's gonna,
I
we,
collect knives. I just like them. I think it's cool.
if you've
But I
seen
think
any of the live cooking we've done with Tom, he can handle a knife better than any other quad I've seen, I think. So,
He's like Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
uh,
But I
but
was
that again, this
I
is
was the
proceed
same
with
way.
caution. You know, like you gotta use and build the confidence with the stuff to know what's safe and know your limits and not be reckless either.
I was the same way, Tom. When I first got hurt, of course they made this cast, and I got this Tino Desis brace that you had to pop on, and then you can put your fork and your right, pen or pencil, and so it can lock your wrist like this. And then over time, I was like, well, I need something easier. This thing looks ugly. If I was ever going to go out on a date, it would be weird looking. And so I was staring at forks and the pins, and I came up with a fork and spoon that, looking at people having rings on their fingers, I was like, why don't we solder on a fork with a ring on top and a ring on the bottom? And I would slip my hand through it, and then that's how I was able to have dexterity to hold the fork and spoon. And then and then my dad even made one that where it could put one ring on so I can write. And then over time, I think we forgot it, and I'm like, oh, let me try to. Oh, this is just as this is just as easy. And next thing I know, I never used it again.
that's crazy. So, because I've seen a lot of those now, those adaptive like forks and stuff that have the little finger loops. So, are you the pioneer of that, Bobby, or what?
I mean, I can't say I never saw it before. We didn't patent it. We didn't. My dad made it in his machine shop at Budweiser. He worked at Budweiser,
Uh,
so his guys helped solder it together. So, and then years later, I started seeing those. I'm going, oh my god, that's what we did. So somebody else thought of it, and you know, I I'm just glad. I mean, we made a ton of. And when I used to go to a lot of quads house, I'd be like, giving them out left and right. And like I know a few people still use them. Richard Bell, he still
yeah,
uses his. And there's a couple guys still out there. I'm like, geez, you still use that? And they're like, yeah, it's the best thing I ever got. So, and I wish my dad's retired, so I can't get anymore. But yeah, now you can order them.
yeah, that's cool
Yeah,
because
you know,
I've seen those.
my
Go ahead.
biggest like thing that de-incentivized me from always having to like use those. I don't know. Like I just imagine myself at a restaurant, right? I won't be able to pick up a fork and just eat, like relatively normally. And I'm not throwing shade at people that, and I think it's any way that you can do it is the right way. But I am just so forgetful. Like I don't want to have to travel with anything that I might, forget and like get to the restaurant or something and not need, or just like be able to hop in anywhere and be able to kind of freestyle and like just do my thing. And I don't know, I do like just try to dive into anything, and I fail a lot of times too, like where I maybe one get a little over my head and what I thought I could do, and just realize that I wasn't working out, or it's just like um, and part of that, like that thing is like it's okay to fail, like teaches you a lot too, even if you don't fully succeed, and it's like perfectly fine too. And I always say like, especially cooking, wear put on apron or a shirt you don't care about. You got to be in it. Like you got to not be afraid to make a mess. Like you got to be okay, just like, getting stuff anywhere. And, like lean in and getting in there and just do whatever you got to do to like get the task done. Because like there's no vanity involved like when you're cooking. you just gotta get in there.
You said my middle name. I get over my, a little over my head all the time,
Yeah.
Tom. Every time, like I start thinking like, oh, this might work, and then next thing I know, I got 50 tie wrap, zip ties around something. Going, okay, this looks like shit now, but I mean, it's holding, but it's just like, and then I'm like, oh wait, it would have been easier if I did this. Honey, can you cut all these zip ties? She's just like, oh my god, no, I'm not doing it. If you want to do it, you cut them off. So I get it over my head all the time.
But I feel like for stuff like that, sometimes you need to try something to know it doesn't work, to like figure something else out, just come up with that solution of what does
My
work.
dad my dad used to do this thing where he'd like pick us up after school. My mom always worked in like afternoon evenings. He'd pick us up from school and then we'd go to the store and we'd walk around and he would always do this thing like, what do you want to do for dinner? We'd like kind of let the inspiration of like walking around and seeing things like, how we'd pick our dinner. And I loved it. It was like one of my favorite things to do as a kid is like go to the store and like pick dinner and, find something that looks good. So I just still do that sometimes where I'll just like roll into Vons or wherever I'm shopping and like just hopefully get inspired by something. And a couple of times I've done that and like I just was literally over my head with like what I saw and like, oh, I could maybe give this a try and do it. And then it's just like a hot mess get like at home. Like my timing's all messed up. I'm burning stuff, like stuff's everywhere. Like but that's fun too, like it's fun to um try because sometimes it works out too and then you feel really dope and cool and it's like oh you had the idea and you facilitated it and it worked out in the
I don't know
end.
if you guys have ever had this going, like, but Sean, for you, going to a rugby tournament and seeing other quads, or you, Tom, support groups or hanging out at other events, and something you came up with, and Jerry rigged something together, and then you see somebody else have it like 10 times better, cleaner. It's just like, oh, yeah, that would have worked too. Like, it's happened to me like a few times, like how I used to get my pants unbuttoned. I had the silliest thing, and then somebody, you know, did some where he just put this little loop with his thumb in a loop and pulled his button off, and I'm like, and then he had some device for his zipper, and it was like so easy. I'm like, I had this big honking thing to do every. I was like, oh my god, I could have just done that.
Yeah, no, that's
you know
why
I,
you learn a lot from others for sure. Go ahead, Tom.
I was just gonna say the same thing. I mean, there's even stuff that like I've seen Shawn do, or like you do, Bobby, and I'm like, oh dang, like especially like watching Shawn transfer, like kind of leaning and shifting your weight, like really lifting your hips and stuff, like I do like I was transferring for years at that point, but um, kind of realizing I can like lean and use like my body weight and like physics to do a lot of the work for me and like just push with a couple certain muscles and stuff like it really helped me improve upon like my technique and just do something in a different way and a more efficient way too. So that's why it's so important to talk to others and see others and go like go to support groups and ask about things like that but also like go out to restaurants with your peeps too and like see how they eat, see how they do things and how they can be confident and smooth with it, how you could like get inspiration for how you can do it too. um, and that's why we do so much of the live cooking and the stuff that we do on the shows to not show off my skills because that's not what I'm trying to do, but to just hopefully inspire you to maybe see something and be like, hey, maybe I can do that too, or hey, that looked cool. Like I'd love to try that myself, because that's what it's all about is give it a go, give it a try, realizing your potential and realizing what you're capable of. I if like I talked to teenage Tom, thinking I could like have fed myself successfully for like 10 years living on my own in my apartment, sometimes relying on eating out. And the first year I was living here, I had a meal plan, college and stuff. But the fact that, I was even able to go to the meal hall every day and independently get my food and go and, feed myself and keep my quad belly going and, not lose too much weight and stuff. Like it's cool. And it's something that I didn't think I could do for a long time. until I kind of dove in and gave it a go, realizing that I might fail, but constantly problem solving and brainstorming and pushing myself to, figure out, see if I could do it. And I've been able to, not just kind of, but like very successfully and very meaningfully. So yeah.
Man, that's awesome. And yeah, that's what I feel like I learn stuff from other quads all the time, just seeing people do stuff like just little things, even like little modifications, people make to things, all that stuff. Like, yeah, dude, because I learned so much from you guys too. So, but I appreciate you guys. And and I was gonna say for me, I've never actually used, well, in the beginning, I used like forks and stuff, like the bigger foam kind of things to grab and stuff for even for pens and stuff. But my hands are kind of tight naturally. Like I have to stretch them every morning. They want to close up. So I can typically, like, I just put the fork kind of through a couple of my fingers and then hold. And I'm able just to do like a pretty simple like grab on it. But the one thing is sometimes it's heavy. At restaurants, they'll have heavy
Oh,
silverware. And so
oh,
I have had a couple times where the fork was too heavy to stay in my hand. But what I do in that situation is actually ask for a to go, like little one, like the plastic fork. Because usually they have to go stuff in the back. So they can just give me a quick plastic fork. Plastic fork's lightweight, easy for me to hold. Boom, I get it in my finger, and it's all good. And this is
yeah.
actually what I was talking about. This foam stuff. Just like you can put a pen in it, you just like cut it to size. I have a bunch of this stuff lying around, and I do still use it on random things. Like I just put it on a tongue scraper because I never did that in my life before. And if you guys aren't, I suggest it. It's disgusting what comes off of your tongue at that every day too. I'm talking is nasty. Start doing it. Like,
I buy a tongue depressor every 3 months or 4 months.
Well, I mean, just speaking on dental hygiene too, flossing was always one of the hardest things for me to
so
do.
hard for
But
me.
in my lifetime, the flosser picks like became a really popular thing,
Mhm.
and those allow me to like do it one-handed or at least like wedge it between my teeth and like use my mouth and my other teeth to like help, like floss and like get it between my teeth and do its own thing. But that is just like another really cool example because I used to try to floss with regular dental floss, like when I was a kid or whatever, and it was just always impossible, or it was something that I always needed help with. And as much as I love my mama, it was really embarrassing and weird for her to have to like shove her hands in my mouth and help me floss my teeth. And uh, so I didn't even floss that much as a kid, but now I love my flosser picks, and they're super accessible, and it's like another thing too, like a lot of the advancements in dental hygiene I think are also like have been accessibility enhancements, whether that's on purpose or not. But uh Sonicare, like
I got.
it was like a pain, two hands sitting there trying to like brush your teeth, um like before the ones that would like vibrate and like help, the electric ones and stuff, like it was really hard, if not hard, messy, dude. Like I'd have like spit running down the toothpaste or the toothbrush, get all over my shirt and stuff in the morning before I'm like going to school, and it was just the worst. But electric toothbrushes are awesome. Not to mention like the big battery handle. It's just
Yeah.
like naturally like a easy, lightweight, larger thing to grip. So it's super easy to just like hold and move around your teeth and stuff. So if you are struggling in that regard, or even like relying on help doing it and you have an interest in trying to do it yourself, like think about those things and look around. And if you Google anything nowadays, there's just so much information online, accessible anything. You type it into Google, you will find a forum, a post, or an actual tool or something that was built to make a non-accessible thing accessible, because so many people are doing it nowadays.
Yeah. Now, I can't even
And
imagine trying to use a
nowadays, you
regular
don't even need
toothbrush.
to buy that Sonic. They have them on Amazon for like my Sonic. Finally, I don't know. I think I dropped it and it just wasn't like powering enough. Like I'm like the hell, and so I'm like I don't want to spend money on another Sonic. And then I found on Amazon, it looks, smells, tastes
Look,
like a
smells, and
Sonic,
tastes.
but it was also like $12 or $15. I'm like, I'd rather, replace these more. And it came with
And
six heads.
he's not talking about the hedgehog people. He's talking about the Sonicare
Sonic.
toothbrush.
Not
Maybe
not the
not. I
Sega
don't
game.
know. That's
I,
that's
I,
you to that's for you to determine. You know what I'm talking about.
so I was gonna open up my LaCroix, like we're talking about cooking and just like accessible devices. Now I had on my lap the little is a 3D printed tool for opening cans. I just dropped it right at the beginning of the show.
Huh.
So
But shout out to our
um,
friend Mark at Abilities for those tools
I
because I have
I
one
can pick
too, and
it
it's a
up.
great tool.
I can pick it up, but I'm gonna show you guys how I just do it normally
So
in 90%
can I
of the
give you
time.
a suggestion, Tom? Can
Yeah,
I
hit
give you
me.
one slight suggestion? Like you
Yeah.
know how when we're and I've opened enough of those too. And at first you have to like get enough a little bent. And what I do is I put a spoon and I or a fork and I lift it up just a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit to go so I don't break my tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
that's super brilliant, and I've done that before. I can even do it with my hands. Right now, I broke my thumbnail. Like it broke really far back, and like the nerves are super sensitive, and y'all know that feeling. But I'm able to even like pry my thumb under there and work it up enough to where I can really get my finger and just do that kind of same lever arm thing. Just like use the levers to push it up. Um, but nah, that's too much work, and I can just do this.
Don't try this at home, people. Live to roll.
Uh,
Disclaimer.
no, I don't know. Every quote as I go, like spill it all over my shirt. Gosh, I should have taken a sip afterwards. But you make you make stuff work. Advised. You might chip a tooth.
That's
People have different strength in teeth. I trust me. I don't plan on doing this well into my later years if I make it that long, because I love my teeth and I do put a lot of work and time into taking care of them. It's super easy for me to just like hook in my two front teeth and open up a can. So 90% of the time, it's just so easy. That's what I do as soon as I grab it out of the fridge. It's like pop open my LaCroix using my teeth. Now, I will grab the little assistive device too, just to show it off because I think it's important to show that there are other tools out there. So you don't have to, but think about the tools that you got. There's this joke, and I'm gonna say it because I don't care. What do you call a quadriplegic without any teeth?
Dead.
Fucked.
yeah.
Because you got to use like that's my biggest grip strength is my jaw and my teeth, quite honestly, compared like to my hands and my fingers. So I use my teeth and my mouth all the time to grab things, to twist, bottles off lids, to open up cans, to just hold stuff. You have a little bit more control and strength that like my fingers and my hands can offer me sometimes. And I've been holding this can full of 12 ounces of liquid for a minute, and my wrist is like, "Oh, Tom, what are you doing?" So I gotta take a sip and set it down and stop talking.
But yeah, I was gonna say the one thing because I used to always use when I was living on my own and doing a lot of my own dinners and stuff. Like I would get my Coke ready and I had a little opener for it, but same thing, it would drop sometimes. So I figured out the fork method, like Bobby was talking about. I can pry the fork under, give it just enough lift, and then I flip the fork around and go for the front and do like leverage with the back of it, and it pulls it forward and snaps or like pushes the can open. So that was always my way because I've done the can I think 2 times and it just scared the shit out of me doing my teeth. So I was like, both times I was like, I didn't like that. So I already have a big enough overbite front teeth. So
Plus, you don't want to look like a hillbilly.
oh, we lost Tom for a second. Oh,
He's probably
uh,
trying to.
but yeah, so that's my kind of method and go to was the fork way as well. Um,
Yeah, or butter knife.
or a butter
Uh,
knife works, yeah.
yeah,
Anything you can just let thin, you can just get under it and give it that little bit of leverage to just get it just up enough,
just
and then
enough.
yeah, it just
And then even if you use your mouth teeth, it doesn't crack. Although it just cracks 10 times easier. And you're probably too young, Sean. I'm sure if Roy's in the house, probably remember the old style when you used to have to peel the tab off. So it's come a long ways how they open up cans, and I'm dating my age. So do we get them back, or is he ringing it?
Not yet.
Oh,
We'll
oh.
see. Maybe I have some internet connection or something issues. Hopefully, we'll get Tom back in a second here. Um, but uh, but yeah, I don't know if I should play my little. I got like a little minute and a half video, which I will be uploading to Instagram with some cooler music. But I can't play the music on this one because YouTube does the copyright stuff. So I. But should I play that now or wait for
Go
Tom?
for it. No, let's play it. Gotta wait for our bud.
Yeah. So let's just. It's only a minute and a half, and if Tom wants to see, I'll send it to him. But these are the little balls, the peanut butter balls, and like, there's actually no baking, no cooking involved. You just mix peanut butter, graham cracker crumb, and some powdered sugar. There we go. Sorry, we were muted for a second. So I actually didn't mix it. I had that mix for me in the mixer. But then that's what it came out of was that little clump there. And then I was able just to use that's just a silicone mat. You could use wax paper. You could do it in your hands. And then also we use just regular chocolate chips, and then that's cooking wax, which makes the chocolate uh, like softer and spread better, and then like harden better, I guess. Um, so these are all things I've just learned. And then yeah, to pour it, normally you're supposed to dip them, I think, but I couldn't figure that out. So we just kind of melted the chocolate into a container and was able to pour it out. And
Look at your
made,
arms.
I
Wait.
know my hands are all doing stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That was my quick little peanut butter ball making adventures. But it was honestly so fun to do. It was cool. I was able to roll the little balls, like make the clumps and just kind of roll them using the bottom of my hand on the mat. It was cool. It was fun to try to do. And I made pretty much the full. We made two. We made milk chocolate and then we made dark chocolate. So I made pretty much, I did at least like the prep, like the work of making the balls and pouring the chocolate on for the milk chocolate. And then my amazing girlfriend was able to do the dark chocolate ones real nice and easy. And I just supported her on those.
Oh,
But
yeah. So would you like? Do you like baking better, or do you like
oh, there's Tom.
cooking? Cool.
I like to. I don't know. I guess I'm still figuring that out because I'm just new. And I actually didn't do any actual baking because they didn't need to be. Once
They didn't
you
have to go.
make the balls and you do the chocolate just dries and hardens as long as it's a cool area, and then it just yeah, it just kind of it's easy and they honestly were delicious. I thought so. Tom, I just
So
played the little minute and a half video I have of my
Dang,
making
dude,
my
my
chocolate balls.
PC froze, dude. I had to restart my computer. So my bad, people. I was gonna do something on my screen. I changed apps and it just like froze on me. But I'm back. And I'm excited to still watch the video.
Yeah. Well, it's even better when because I'll upload it and I'll send it to you with the sound, because I got the South Park's Chocolate Salty Ball song and it just made it so much better. So,
Fuck yeah, dude. That was so awesome. Uh,
uh,
so it's funny. Donald in our chat said after 47 years of being the quad and using his four top front teeth, his dentist says that he's worn them down. Because it's all it is what enamel. That can be just
so yeah, let me tell
Tom,
you.
be careful.
Let me
grinding your teeth.
tell you a little story. So I haven't worn down my teeth. At least I haven't worn them down. That is noticeable that I noticed, and my dentist has commented. But I did do one tiny little nick off my front tooth one time. It's a tiny little chip, and I was trying to grind up some weed. And I didn't have my auto. This was like before the auto, and I had this grinder that was just like real sticky and real gunky, and I couldn't. I couldn't get it like I could grind it, but I couldn't get it unscrewed to get to the middle part where all like the ground up weed, um, went down into. And I was like, oh, I'll just like grab it with my teeth and like unscrew it. And I did, but I chipped like it's the tiniest little thing on my front tooth. And my dentist polished it out for me, and like it's fine, like it's all good. But that made me realize I was like, you got to be super, super, super careful. And don't worry, I have an electric grinder now, so that's never going to happen again.
Ah,
And as far as opening cans with my teeth and stuff, like I do tread with caution. I try to proceed with reassuredness and confidence that I'll be okay. I'm just not reckless with it. I'm going to keep opening cans probably the way I do until I get taught another life lesson. But um, but we
you know,
also had a question
you,
from Absalom earlier. He asked if we smoke weed every day, me and Sean. To my knowledge, I think both of us do.
smoke
Yeah, but
weed.
I do an edible typically in the early day now, and I don't smoke like at all during the day. I do a little bit right before dinner, and then I do before bed now. But I do every day, so that is my. I just don't do it as much like during the day, like recreational style or anything like that. I just do the edible now, which keeps my body pretty calm and good, and has been working really well for the last couple of months here.
I will tell you, or tell everybody in regards to using any substance, whether it's marijuana, pain pills, alcohol, food, sex, you name it, exercise. Moderation is key. You if you use anything too much, it's going to be an issue, particularly marijuana. Um, THC is psychoactive and it can make you tired and it can demotivate you and so it also has a ton of positive effects. Like, don't get me wrong, like the reason I do use cannabis every day is because of the relief that it provides to my body. Helps me manage my pain. It helps me stay more functional in some cases, in a lot of cases. And there's a lot of times during the day and many hours of the day I decide not to smoke weed because I know that it will not make me more functional. It'll make me less functional when I want to be present and sober and at my full capacity. I do always encourage everybody to consider the respiratory risk involving smoking. It like anything is might provide relief and for you, but it also does have side effects and main way it's consumed is smoking. So really do consider edibles. I take edibles. Uh, that was like little 20 milligram tablets that I'll take in the evening, just like Shawn says, because I just don't want to smoke. I don't want to risk having to, worry about smoking every day and stuff. Sometimes I don't like to smoke. So I will still just take a edible to help provide some of the relief and the effects that I rely on, quite honestly, because uh, cannabis is very, very medicinal and can provide a huge, huge amount of relief, not just like physical pain wise and stuff, but um, also I think for your head a little bit too. Uh, do any of you drink alcohol frequently? I don't think any of us do frequently. Do y'all drink frequently?
I don't drink it really at all anymore. But Bobby is at least like has his glass of wine and things. I think most days,
Yeah,
uh, just not heavy drinking. But yeah,
no, I don't. I mean, I just can't function on anything that starts wearing me down, especially drinking. I do like on the weekends to have a glass of whiskey or a little thing of whiskey on Saturday or Sunday. Um, and then depending on our meals, we'll have a glass or two of wine. Uh, we try to keep it down to 8 ounces. So try to moderate. I haven't in the past. It's been a lot more sometimes, and then there's times when it's a lot less too. I don't know. I go through these waves, and um, it does help with the pain. But what I worry about is I take hydrocodone. So trying to, not mix those two is pretty important for me. But so that's where I would take something in more in the afternoon to get me by pain free, like you do, Shawn, with edible.
Yeah.
If I took an edible, I don't care what size it is. I'm done for the rest of the day. I'd just be like this, guys. On let's roll. Uh, uh. That's how I would feel. I might not look like that, but that's how I'd feel in my head. I'm like, they know, they know, they know. I don't know if anybody in the chat, does anybody get that feeling like they know, they know, they know I'm high? I don't know if you guys have ever had.
Well, I mean, that's part of the psychoactive nature of THC. That's like the stuff that causes you to get paranoid, is because it does affect your head and how you feel and how you perceive and how you process. Cannabis, also cannabidiols, cannabinoids. A lot of people don't realize with marijuana, there's a very full spectrum of chemicals that make you feel high and cause the effects that it does. You hear the term CBD a lot, cannabidiol. That particular molecule and like spectrum of molecules that exist on the plant provides a lot the anti-inflammatory effects. It provides like the hunger response that can be beneficial for people that have low appetite or difficulty eating. Um, there's a lot of ways to consume cannabis that doesn't include THC, and you can buy that at most dispensaries and get it almost
Now
anywhere,
you can
which
find
is
it on the
um,
internet. You don't even need to be.
some of the positive benefits of cannabis without the psychoactive component, which can trigger that very commonly, like a paranoid feeling. And I totally get it. A lot of people like want to be in full control of their mental faculties at all times and not take substances that affect that. And I get it 100%, particularly if that side effect is like paranoia and fear and not good feelings, because nobody needs that or wants an extra amount of that in their life. But that's where uh, you know cannabis is cool, is because it exists in ways that you could still get a lot of the benefits. For quads in particular, is it assists with neuropathy. It's like one of the few things that takes the edge off nerve pain. That's not a drug that can affect the side effects affect me in other more serious ways than like cannabis does. Anti-inflammatory effects, which is like the other biggest trigger for pain for me, is like inflammation that causes more nerve pain, and that's just from like overuse and certain actions that I got to do every day to get dressed and get up and function. But the anti-inflammatory thing, and it's not the only thing I do for like anti-inflammatory stuff. That's diet. Alcohol is super inflammatory, meaning like if I have two beers or two gin and tonics, like the next day, like I feel kind of swollen, I'll feel a little bloated, I'll feel like that inflammatory effect that it's had because it's poisoning my blood, and that's living in my body until it's like all filtered and processed out. Don't get me wrong, love a couple drinks and love the feeling of being a little buzzed with my peeps, because that's what alcohol is cool and good for. But I'm very conscious of it nowadays, especially because it takes such a toll and has such an effect on my body, whereas cannabis to me doesn't. It has no side effect. I do say tread carefully with edibles. Definitely microdose if you're not used to it. Is take just a few milligrams compared to larger dose, because it'll last longer when it's being processed through your liver and it's being digested. The high effect is hours compared to like minutes. Like 45 minutes and you're sobering up. If you like smoking or something, or an hour versus like hours of feeling high. Um, but yeah, I'd say educate yourself more than anything and before anything, because there's so much information available, and there are so many very healthy forms and ways to do it that have no psychoactive component. And yeah, I think educate yourself and find something that works. And if you like weed too, do your thing. Smoke weed every day, baby.
I just can't.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't,
what you got to
do you ever
find
wake and
what
bake?
does.
Is that, do you guys wake
Do
and
I
bake?
ever think about it? Psh, hell yeah, Bobby. A little Saturday morning cartoon session, wake and bake with some cereal. Oh, laid in bed, just munching, watching some good cartoons, bro. I'll wake and bake on a Saturday morning any week of my life.
Yeah, see, I typically don't. I actually I haven't in a long time.
Let
I do.
me
I
tell
have
you
now
a
started doing
little quick
edible.
story.
What?
No, you go. You go.
I was gonna
I'll
say
let
I
you
have started doing edibles typically like after my care in the morning and stuff, like kind of start the day. But for me, I don't feel at all like I get high from the edibles. Maybe I'm just not. But it does. I can really feel it in my body. Like if I don't take it, my spasticity levels are way higher, and I'm just more uncomfortable. I have a lot more nerve pain in my legs and my back and stuff like that. So that's the one thing. It just really helps that effect. Um, and yeah, it just for me,
And I would love, I don't like taking hydrocodone, and I take the lowest. I don't know if somebody was asking about what amount, but I take one
somebody
a day.
actually was asking about if any of us take any other medications. Um, he's a new para
Yeah.
that doesn't take any medications or has
But,
stopped taking.
Can I
and
shout out a couple people real quick? I just want to say what
sure.
up to Nadine. Great to see you. There was somebody earlier in the chat. I recognize your name. It's Jacques. Jack. I just want to say welcome, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Your name. I just haven't seen you in the chat before, and I want to say welcome to Live to Roll, dude. Hope you're enjoying the content, and I really appreciate you joining us for the show today.
And we got
Yeah, thank all you
hanging
guys.
with or kicking
We
it with
got Gabe, we got Hip Crib, we got Robin Terra, Wheelchair Rick, um, and
Nadine,
yeah, everybody. Say what up
in
to
the
everybody.
house,
Said
El
hello.
Williams. But I
I
was,
lost my chat when I had to restart, so I'm missing
oh,
some names.
Dominic was in the house too, hopefully. Hey, Dominic, we miss you, man. Much love. Yeah, we missed you Saturday. Wish you could have made it. Um, but no, I was going to say this. Uh, I didn't take any medications for 30 years. 32. Well, how long have I been hurt? 34? 32 years. So I started 2 years ago, finally, to take hydrocodone. And unlike Hip Crip uh, or you, Shawn, I do. I don't know. I never noticed with you, Tom. Maybe a little bit. The spasms. I don't get that. I mean, when I have spasms, it's usually my body saying, "Yeah, but you got a UTI, and so screw you, and here we go." And then then it's really bad. But I don't get the. I get the clonus, the do, but I can stop it, adjust my legs, adjust my hips. But I think it was after I broke my hip a few years ago, 2 years ago. I just don't feel, my hips are just, off or something. Like they feel, I'm in so much pain just sitting. And then the burning in my left calf and my underneath my left thigh, and then for some reason my right ankle. It's unstoppable. It's insane what the pain is. And I tried going down that road with using cannabis, and I've tried a bunch, and all it just does is it wears me out. I'm done. I'm like, at least I could have a glass of wine and not be like I got to go lay down, and I can enjoy the rest of the evening if I had a glass of wine, or even a beer at lunch, depending on if it's warm outside and you're kind of lazy. Sometimes a beer at lunch will just knock you out. Like, oh man, now I'm tired all day. But for the most part, it's that
If I,
constant,
have a,
constant pain.
if I have a beer at lunch, I feel so bloated. Ugh.
What's that?
Said if I have a beer at lunch, I feel so bloated. Like beer makes me feel so full. In the middle of the day, I'm just like, eh.
I enjoy it. Especially on a Saturday. I like it enjoy. Or back when I was younger, in my 20s, we used to go out to North Carolina, we rented a beach house to go to the beach out there, and I live 5 miles from it. But we used to go rent a beach house for a couple weeks with some friends every morning. Talk about wake and bake. No, it's crack that can of beer, Coors Light open. First I'd have a cup of coffee, then a Coors Light, and then I would go get something to eat. For breakfast was. That was in my 20s. Single. Just something I love to do. I love that. I used to love to have a nice cold beer in the morning, but now it's like, no.
When I was first moving out, I lived here for a couple weeks with my mom. When I first moved out, she stayed here with me for almost a whole month, helping me get my care set up, helping me get my independence routine down, and just being here. And then my dad came down, picked her up. We went to our house in the desert for the weekend, and then they were going to be bringing me back to drop me off. And I remember we got up one morning, like I think it was the morning my dad was gonna be driving me home to drop me off, and we were sitting out on the porch, and the sun was just coming up, and I smoked a J with my dad and did a little wake and bake on the porch, and um, it was like a very special, like transformative memory in my life. Um, like
Yeah,
waking back in, smoking a J. It's just like the transition, like moving on in life or whatever. But yeah, that talking about waking bacon, I'm not really a big fan of waking bacon, TBH, because like my mornings, I don't know, just usually don't like to get up and get high. But I just want to tell that story because it just popped into my head. Um, but enjoy.
I got a funny one. If anybody in the chat can remember this one, back in when I was, living on my own, I thought like, now I'm out on my own. We'd have a bottle of wine, and I didn't like wine back then, but I was like, a young man should have, something like maybe like alcohol. So I went out and maybe Hypocrite might know what it was, or somebody else in the chat, but I thought it was like all grown up to go out and get, a 6 pack of Zima every so often. And I'm sure you guys don't know what Zima is, but it turned out to be like, if you were drinking Zima, it was like not a fruity drink, but I don't even know how to explain Zima, but it was just like, it was pretty bad to
It was
like,
like a
like,
sugary.
yeah, it wasn't beer, it wasn't a wine cooler, but it was just like, and then all of a sudden a friend came in, he's like, what the hell are you doing drinking a Zima? And it's just like, dude, are you a lady? And I'm like, no, God, never bought it again. And now you don't even see it anymore.
That
I
was
drank. We had some vodka at the party on Saturday, and I took like a little whiff,
Yeah,
and like it reminded me of this time I drank. Like I split a bottle of
I gotta
Sky
go find a bike
vodka with
shop.
a friend, and
I gotta go find a bike
we
shop here.
like split a whole bottle of vodka, just
They
like my.
wanted me to leave my chair there.
And Bobby, we can still hear you. You're not muted.
Oh, you can still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Sorry.
I know you're good. You're good. And I got so hungover. Well, first of all, I got so messed up. Wasn't even able to transfer. That was like I had this spin so bad. I like passed out in my chair, like next to the sink in my apartment, just like hunched over like this. And I woke up feeling like the sickest and the worst I ever had in my life, and just vomited like so much. Oh my god. Anyways, I don't know how we got onto drinking stories.
Yeah.
But imbibe safely during the holidays. But screw it. I think it's totally worth it if you enjoy drinking to have a drink or two with your fam to bring in the holidays and celebrate. I know that I'm going to be having a cocktail or two with my mom and dad and sister on Thanksgiving Day for sure. And you know that's dope.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna do a testing.
No.
No.
Now it's working.
Did
Sorry
you
about
guys
that,
talk
guys.
about your holiday plans? What were you all doing?
You know, you go first, Sean.
So yeah, for me, I go to my uncle's typically every year. It's only 20 minutes or so from my house, so it's not too far. Local family comes. My mom's coming in Thanksgiving Day. She comes in the morning. We're just gonna hang out, do that, and then I think probably after just kind of go and have some food, maybe watch a movie and hang out with my girlfriend for the night, kind of just to take it easy and yeah, and then nothing else, no travel for the weekend. I'm not traveling or doing anything. As far as that goes, I don't like to travel for the holidays.
It's a,
Luckily, most of my family is pretty local, so just hang out with the local family and have a good time, good day. So, what about
yeah.
you guys, Bobby?
Um, I'm gonna. I'm doing a 10K Thanksgiving morning, a
Oh
turkey
wow,
trot. Yeah,
jeez,
in Long Beach. So I signed up for that yesterday. So I got my ass out there today. I did some miles today. It was too windy yesterday to push. Um, but uh, then I go pick up my parents, and it's going to be a hard one for me. My parents just recently moved down here into assisted living, and my dad has Alzheimer's and dementia really bad. So it's tough to be around. Like I took him to the doctor yesterday, and it just it's tough. So it's going to be hard to be. It's going to be a tough Thanksgiving. And all we're doing is pea soup. We're not making the big uh, turkey dinner shindig for just all of us. Um, so it's and my mom's also gone downhill a lot as well. So it's going to be. I think it's going to be a hard one. But then on Saturday, I have the rest of my family coming. My cousins who live and my aunts who live in the local area. So we'll have them over for just like appetizers. So that's what our plans are. So I'm just hoping to get through Thursday with my parents. It's just um, they're tough. My dad can't remember anything. I call him. It's not you, Tom, but from the movie 51st Dates, I call my dad 10-second Tom.
Like in 10 second. They were super funny. And again, not laughing at that situation because it's terrible, but he was a funny character. Um, well, we love you, Bobby, and we'll be thinking about you. Send you lots of love and good vibes to you and your parents and Ellen and the whole fam. Um, and we're here for you too. I do want to say thanks for everybody being okay, like sharing what they take in the chat. See a lot of people like sharing kind of
yeah,
their
that
regimen.
is
And I
great.
think it's pretty interesting. What I'm always kind of interested and curious what other quads and paras and individuals do to manage their stuff. And I do also want to make one comment, particularly to Donald. You said you're thinking about taking some gummies after listening to all of us. I really do highly encourage you to, if you are considering it, one, just educate yourself too. Like I said, start with a very, very low dosage if you do, like five
Yeah,
milligrams. But also, if you are taking Norcos and other things to manage your pain, mention it to your doctor. Talk to your doctor. It's anytime, even cannabis, mixing cannabis with other medication and stuff. It can have an effect. It can have an effect on your body, your blood pressure, your whole physiological system, and you don't want to really mix anything unless your doctor says no, that's cool. So
And I don't
with
think there's going to be many doctors out there that says, "Yeah, yeah, that's going to be cool."
yeah,
Uh,
um, well, I do know, like our buddy. I actually don't want to say his name in case he's in the chat sometimes. He likes the benefit of cannabis, especially at night, to help him sleep. And he
yeah,
takes painkillers, like he takes Norcos, to manage his pain too. And he did tell his doctor about the cannabis, and he was like, "You can't do both." But he's continued to have the conversation with his doctor about maybe taking an edible at night because the narcos don't really help him sleep, and he's just looking for something to help him fall asleep, and he wants to be able to do that. And his doctor was super open-minded about it and said, heck yeah, take a low dose edible. Just make sure, we communicate. And if you do feel anything, or if, like, just have the conversation, particularly if you're in California and a lot of places where it's legal, recreationally, medicinally. Many doctors and physicians are super open minded because of the real medical benefit that it does have. And most open minded people are very recognizing of that. But we are not medical professionals. I am in no way at all here to give meaningful medical advice to anybody.
You just
And
play
the
one
advice
on
is
TV.
always talk to your doctor before you do anything and make sure you're good and you're not going to do something that's going to have a negative effect on you, period. And I do
You
the same thing with
you just
everything that
play
I do.
one on TV, Tom.
Huh?
What was that,
You
Bobby?
just play one on TV.
I just blame it on
But
TV. No, I'm saying I communicate to all my doctors and stuff, everything I do, especially in the cannabis, and I'm fully transparent and honest with them about how much I use and how the effect it has on me and the benefits that I find in it and stuff. And I just think it's important to remind people of that because, yeah, it's important. I think.
well,
Um,
my doctor's so funny because he'll go when it gets down to the and drinking alcohol. I'm like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week. He goes, all right, 5 or 6. You know, it's just like, I'm like, I didn't say that. He goes, oh, I know, and it's probably more. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, doctors know people
Yes,
who.
I talked to Dr. Feelgood. I talked to him too. Dr. Tom, I am certainly not.
Yeah.
Uh, Call me Dr. T Fizzle. He's a
But yeah, anytime
doctor.
you're doing something like
Bernard.
that, changing medications, even if it is just adding cannabis to whatever, you should definitely consult a medical professional.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we are not that. We're just sharing what does help us, what we've used, things that, you know, are beneficial for our personal lives. So,
And we didn't take
Exactly.
anything overnight. Talking to our doctors as well, and talking to
Uh,
others too. I think we're here to tell you what we do, but also talk to others what they do. Donald said it earlier. He said that baclofen didn't work. It was useless. But gabapentin was pure evil to him. And so when I went to a pain management doctor, that's the first thing they wanted me on. And I'm like, okay, I'm willing to try that. And man, did that F me up. I was just like a mess for a week. And my wife's like, well, you got to get through it. I'm like, get through what? This is, I'm shaking. And I just felt like I wasn't in my own body. I was like, and I was on a low dose. So yeah, I know what you mean, Donald.
yeah, anything like that, the nerve stuff, there could be a lot of different side effects and things that just affect people differently. So,
Yeah, for what somebody works for, one person may not work for another. Like I know some people probably would feel like I can work and I take my hydrocodone around noon, 1. Oh my God, I get so much work. Later in the day I can exercise because I feel good and I can
yeah.
concentrate. And if I had to go do an errand or drive, I don't feel the effects. All I feel the effects of, I don't have pain in my hips and my burning pain in my calf and ankles or the stabbing, and depending on what day it is. So I know that's for me, but some people can take a hydrocodone and go, oh my God, it's getting dark here. Um, uh, can take one and feel totally messed up.
Damn
It's
you, daylight savings. I hate you so
I know I
much.
hate this.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna
uh,
see if
Um,
but
me and my flat tire can turn on my light. I'll be right back.
but we are going to be wrapping up here again. We're kind of right at the hour, a little over. So,
and
if there
yeah,
was any last little questions,
what are you go do? What are you doing for your birthday?
honestly, I got surprised by my girlfriend and grandma at that Friendsgiving. They had a cake made for me and came out and sung at the Friendsgiving, which was kind of cool. It was like that was a surprise. I didn't see that coming. So it was nice to get that. And then yesterday we went up to Mount Baldy and kind of had a little picnic, lunch up like on the mountain. It was really fun and nice. Today, kind of just taking it easy. We're gonna do some dinner and then probably just go back and watch a movie, relax. But I might try to do some miniature golfing this weekend. So that's
Yeah, a little.
Yeah,
that'll be
Where's
also, dude. I told Frenchie that we'd schedule a Top Golf day to celebrate your birthday too,
I would
like
love
we
to
did
do
last.
top golf again too. Yeah, it's fun. I like
So
I
I
want to
like
talk.
to
join
hit
you
the ball.
guys.
I like hitting golf balls. It's fun.
Yeah, we'll
Let me know
talk.
if you guys do. I want to do that. And I know what's up your alley tonight, Sean.
Um,
Little chicken
Bow.
pound.
Oh man, I had to
Ah,
say.
I knew I'd hear her in the background one of these days.
But we love everybody. Tomorrow for the gaming, it's gonna be a little earlier. I'm
Oh,
headed out. I got some stuff early in the morning, and then I have a couple hours to chill before I'm heading out to my fams for Thanksgiving, which is what I'm doing for my Thanksgiving. Is go and hang out with the three greatest people on planet Earth: my mom, my dad, and my sister, and my bro. He is also one of those greatest people too. He's unfortunately not going to be there now with us, but we'll be celebrating and eating turkey with the fam, which is going to be dope. But I got to do the game early. It's probably gonna be a little short, but we'll get a couple hours in before I head out to go catch my train to go get
and
home.
then this week, so we'll have a little bit of early gaming tomorrow, and then this week we're not going to have a Thursday show because it's Thanksgiving, and just kind of enjoy time with your friends, family. Uh, so we're going to be doing that, but Bobby will be on because it would be the Rolling Over the Hill show. Bobby will be on the following Thursday doing Rolling Over the Hill. I think with a pretty special guest too that they have lined up. And then yeah,
Oh,
stuff.
sorry. I was late. I was late today, and I had to get that in there.
So late,
Sorry,
Bobby. So late. We
Yeah, I
love you,
gotta get that.
Paul. Give our love to your amazing wife and your awesome
thank you.
daughters, and yourself, and we love you, dude. And Donald, 69th birthday on the 26th. First off,
Happy
69.
birthday,
Nice. Second of
Happy
all,
birthday,
happy
Donald.
birthday, man. That's awesome, dude. And I hope it's a great one. And we're sending you lots of love. And yeah, we're sending lots of love to everybody on your Turkey Day. Hope you guys have a good one. And yeah,
Yeah, we hope everybody does have a great holiday weekend, great Thanksgiving, enjoy family. If you don't celebrate it, some people don't. Just enjoy the weekend. Don't go shopping on Friday. And
oh, I'm gonna shop till I drop on Friday, dude.
Oh,
Oh my
wait,
god.
is so okay. I know we're trying to get out of here, but is Black Friday even really a thing? Like,
not as much
I've
anymore
always,
because now there's so many internet sales and it's been stretched
oh,
out.
it's like
It's
there's no
not like
such thing
this.
as.
Yeah.
Needs a new PC, Sean. Let's
Oh,
go.
But you could
Just
like so now everybody just like I was in Kohl's today dropping off. I had to go to an Amazon drop off center, and it just like everything on there just said Black Friday today, and I'm like, so it's not Friday,
just remember, it's a tactic. They're not actually cheaper prices. The
Oh, it's
majority of what you buy isn't marked down. It's just all a tactic. No, I'm just kidding. Um, take advantage of some sales, people. When I got my computer, I got it on a Black Friday deal, and it was awesome savings. So
and,
hey, why not?
and I always say Black Friday is really for yourself. It's not buying for gifts. It's really for yourself. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
dude, I say
computer for
Christmas
yourself.
before Christmas. That's the real Christmas, is where you get to buy a bunch of crap for yourself instead of a bunch of other people.
Well, my wife and I, that's how we do Christmas. She buys her gift and I buy my gift, and we're both happy.
we're both happy. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
Paul said it best. It's Black Friday month.
That kind of
Um,
fits.
yeah,
The
well,
other,
I feel like
Oh, are we having a wait? Sorry, Tom. Are we
what?
having a Black Friday?
Yeah, actually, I forgot. I
God,
am. I was supposed to announce that.
what the
I'm gonna
hell?
put
We're
it up
like,
starting. I am gonna post starting tomorrow. So we're gonna start it from tomorrow through Monday, till the next week's show. We're gonna do Black
Black
Friday
Friday
day.
sale that matters is the Live to Roll Black Friday sale.
there you
We're
go.
here to talk
No, we got to
about
do
it.
it official.
Not
We got to
this
do it
sale.
on.
This
We're
sale.
going to start it on Friday, official. You have to wake up at 3 a.m. to get your merchandise
Hey, it's a
We'll
mess,
have it
but at
figured.
least it's a hot mess, right? Yeah.
But yeah, we will get it. So we will have some deals. Check the website. We'll have discounts, some free shipping, stuff like that going on. So we'll be trying to get rid of some of this Live to Roll merch. Get you guys all
Everything
looking
must
good like
go.
us.
Everything must go because we're getting ready for next year's designs and Live to Row clothing rollout. But that being said, it's just not getting rid of stuff because our t-shirts and sweaters and hats and everything is of the highest quality, and nothing to keep you more comfy and looking fresh than a cool Live to Roll tee or hoodie or hat or you name
Beanie,
it.
beanie for
You don't
those
want
that live in
We do
cold,
have beanies
cold
too. Yep. If
climates.
you're cold.
Yeah, or what Paul calls it, a toque. So, Paul, get your toque or
up
toque.
there in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan,
That's it. We
Saskatchewan,
definitely got to
Canada.
get Paul in a beanie for sure. That shit is cold out there.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
Talking
yeah,
about
and
Paul.
the only thing you're not going to want to give him free shipping to Canada. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if we could do that. Yeah, free shipping is going to be in the U.S. Sorry, guys.
Drive
Uh,
to Montana, Paul. You can pick up your toque.
but all right, you guys, thank you for hanging out, watching. Appreciate you guys all. Hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys next week. Live to Roll show.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Be
birthday,
safe out
Sean.
there.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy
Thank you, guys.
birthday.
Thank
birthday
you.
to you.
Appreciate you guys. All right, live to roll, everyone.